All right, welcome back, guys. Today I am in the quaint town of Sri Racha, about 90 kilometers east of Bangkok in the Chonburi district of Thailand. Today I want to show you something really unique. I'm very excited to show you this. Two of my favorite things in the world in one place: street food and specialty coffee. So you can imagine my excitement when I saw this place. I'm looking for a decent coffee because we were in the Novotel hotel and I don't really drink hotel coffee. I've come walking past, I've seen the setup of Arthur outside. Loads of people outside. It's a tiny little stall inside the entrance of like an old school duck restaurant. Like I'm talking, this place is like, well, I found out it's 30 years old, but it's just a classic Thai shop house restaurant. You've got all the pictures on the wall, you've got pictures of like King Bumibon on the wall. On the other side, you've got pictures of family, the chef, all sorts. So like it's really old school, and you've got like this funky coffee machine slash pump that I've never seen before. After I'd spoke to Arthur and realised that he really does know a lot about coffee, you can imagine my excitement when I can get a really good cup of coffee and like a 30-year-old recipe duck in the same shop. Right, so for me, it doesn't get much better than this. Two absolute masters at work, well, three absolute masters at work. Different generations, but the same attention to details. So on one end of the scale, you've got here D, who has been smashing out stewed and roast duck for over 30 years in Sri Racha. You can tell a master at work when you see him in action, like just the way he knows exactly what he's doing with every single bowl. It's like muscle memory. And then you've got his daughter, Na, who is the girlfriend of the coffee shop. I don't want to do him a disservice. I'm going to call him a coffee scientist, Arthur, who is doing some of the best coffee I can remember having in Thailand. In fact, he's actually ruined coffee for me. It's that good. So it's a complete family affair, and I absolutely love it. But without further ado, I'm going to eat this duck before it gets cold. All right, so I'm going to try the soup with nothing in to start. That's really good. And this is great because, I don't know if you saw last Friday's video, but I went to a stewed duck shop in Charoen Nakhon, so this is very fresh in my memory of what this stewed duck is supposed to taste like, basically, is what I'm trying to get at. It's a little bit sweeter than salty. It is quite salty, but it's a little bit sweeter, heavy on the cinnamon star anise, heavy on the star anise. I like it a lot. I am going to add a little bit to this. All right, so I'm going to put in a little bit of this chili vinegar. Just a touch, doesn't need much. Very well flavoured soup already. And then we've got some roasted chili. Look at this bad boy. All right, that's going in. Oh, beautiful. Okay, now I'm going to try it again once I've added my chili vinegar and my chili. Now it's sweet, salty, sour from the chili vinegar. The roasted chili is absolutely insane. Just the difference it makes to just roast that off in a pan instead of just having like the normal Pikbon dried chili on the table. Spring onions, coriander, we got some crunchy bean sprouts, that garlic oil. Let me see if I can get a, I'm just gonna pick up the duck leg. That is delicious. The duck leg, has taken on all the spices from the cooking liquor. So he's got 2 pots. He's got one full of soup and one full of thicker cooking liquor of the duck, and he uses like a scoop of each in the soup. So soft. That is absolutely delicious. They're really small ducks as well. They're not like those fat sort of factory pumped ducks. These are small, that look like free-range birds. All right, next up, gao na bed, which means duck on rice. So we've got roast duck this time. So he does bed yang and bed palo or bed tun. So he's got roast and stewed duck basically. Excuse my bad pronunciation. So this is thinly sliced breast, very, very thinly sliced. Looks very, very tender. We've got some pak bung with it. And interestingly, pak bung, morning glory, what he did with this, he just very lightly blanched it. He literally just picked it up, like whole, and dunked it into the soup, and it cooked in like 2 seconds. And we've got some dark soy sauce with chilies. I'm gonna try it with the dark soy sauce on. I don't usually put the dark soy sauce on this. That sauce is incredible. Cooking liquor maybe? Some yellow bean, maybe some tao jiao? I'm not sure. It's very salty, a little bit sweet. That might be even better than the stewed duck. Well, I'm going to put a little bit of this on. I like the pak bung as well. Still crunchy, as he's just dipped it for 2 seconds in some soup. It's retained its crunch. You don't often see this with duck on rice. What would you usually get with duck on rice? Maybe some like bok choy or some pat kana, something like that. But this is very, very good. Like I said, very quaint little seaside town. This is actually the jumping off point or jumping on point if you want to go to Koh Si Chang, which is the closest island to Bangkok. But this, coupled with the amazing coffee, is worth the trip here all by itself. I think the only problem with this is if I lived in Sri Racha, because the coffee's so good and the duck's so good, I don't think I'd eat or drink anywhere else at breakfast. I think I'd probably be at every breakfast eating duck on rice, because I'd come in for the coffee and I wouldn't be able to not order the duck rice or the duck noodle soup. Sawadee krap. So this is Arthur. This is the man I've been telling you so much about. I've got to say something to you though. You've ruined coffee for me, because now every time I drink a coffee in Bangkok, it's not as good as your coffee. So now I have to come all the way back to Sri Racha to get a coffee.
That's great.
All right, so what do you have for me today?
Today we have a bean, Thai bean, Brazil, and the Ethiopia jimma. It's kind of like a floral blueberry. Yeah. And this one is from my brother from Chiang Rai. It's an invisible brand. It's just like a kind of blueberry candy.
Oh.
Like that. Yeah. It depends on you.
Okay.
Depends on you now.
Well, I think I'll try it because they're your brother's beans, right?
Yes. From Chiang Rai. Yeah.
I'll take these ones. Okay. I'll take a cup of that, please.
Okay.
Latte ร้อนนะครับ
Latte ร้อน Okay.
Can I try it first with no milk?
Yes.
Thank you, Cup. All right, so we're going to try these first with no milk in. I'm going to try this as is, and then we'll put the milk in to make my latte. I'll tell you what, right? So his friend has roasted these, right? Blend of Chiang Rai, Brazil, and Ethiopia, I think. And I don't know what they do to the beans, but these guys are like scientists, they're like geniuses. The flavour on this, so like let me put my coffee tasting hat on, right? The first thing you get when you drink this is just pure blueberry, followed by maybe some hazelnut and a nice bit of bitterness on the back end. See, it's just as easy to be a coffee wanker as it is to be a wine wanker. I think I could actually get a job doing this. I think what I love most about Arthur and his place, right, is all joking aside what I was doing a second ago, although that is the flavour profile from the coffee. I don't like sometimes, as much as I love coffee and I'm always in coffee shops, daily I'm in a different coffee shop, usually in Bangkok, trying out different beans and trying out different blends and asking questions. As you know, I want to start up a little coffee channel, so I'm trying to learn as much as I can. But what I don't like is sometimes, especially if you're in the city, how sort of like exclusive coffee can be, or coffee shops can be, or pretentious. So the thing about when I found this place, like Arthur clearly knows more about coffee than I'll ever learn, and knows more about coffee than most people I've ever met. But there's nothing pretentious about this place. It's just all about the coffee, and it's exactly the same as the duck is all about the food. So you've got two absolute masters at work here, doing completely different things, but they're not completely different, are they? They're both executing one thing absolutely perfectly. Yul D is doing duck the same way, day in, day out, absolutely perfectly, and Arthur is doing coffee the same, day in, day out, absolutely perfectly. That is unbelievable. So, right, so it did taste like blueberry. When I drank the straight one, tastes like blueberry. Now it's got the milk in, it's like cream. It actually tastes like blueberry ice cream, or like blueberry frozen yogurt. I had one in here last week, I was here the week before last. I had one from Honduras that tasted like rum and raisin. It tasted like a fruit and nut bar, like an alcoholic fruit and nut bar. The next day I came in and had beans from Yunnan in China, and that tasted like red wine / brandy and strawberries. Mind is absolutely blown. All right, so that was an amazing, amazing experience for me. I just went upstairs with Arthur and he ran me through the whole roasting process. In fact, we actually roasted some beans just for me. So he asked me what roast I liked. So I said a light roast, fruity. So he got the green beans, which I didn't even know what they were. So they get the beans like unroasted, unprocessed, and they're green. I've never seen them before. And he ran me through the whole process. Took about 15 minutes from firing up his little machine, roasting the beans. He's checking them all the time. He's doing it all by sort of sense, smell, and just checking the color of the beans, making sure they're all cooked evenly. No timers involved, because the guy he learned from threw his timer in the bin, he said, because he said you've got to learn to just know the beans. So it was quality listening to him run me through everything, run me through all the different techniques there are for like fermenting beans and stuff. And his vision is to make it, he said, like a barber shop. So you know, if you go in a hairdresser's like and say, oh, I want it short on the sides, a bit longer on top, or actually I want it a bit longer on top, short on the sides. So you come in here and tell him exactly what you want, he'll go upstairs and roast the beans. So no one else will ever have the beans that I've just had, because he didn't even write down what he did or the process. So that's a unique bean just for me. So get yourselves down here, make a weekend of it. Come down, get some duck, get some coffee, and maybe go over to Got Si Chang. There's also some really cool street food in Sri Racha. I'll write some stuff down in the description below so you know where to go. I'm gonna grab this coffee now, even though I've already had a coffee and this will probably send me over the edge. I can't leave this place without getting the master to make me a cup of my own coffee that he's roasted me. Also, I've got to say a big thank you to the main man with the duck, PT, and his daughter Na. So nice, so friendly, so hospitable, and so knowledgeable. And like I said earlier, it's so great to see two absolute masters at work. Different crafts, but kind of the same. Different generations, but both absolute perfectionists. Right, enough of that. I'm gonna get my coffee. I didn't press play. All right, so this is my coffee made from the beans that Arthur roasted me from Mae Soi, Chiang Rai. We call this Phalang roast. But if you don't have time to come to Sri Racha, you can just get on Instagram. I'll leave their Instagram, Suntime Coffee, in the description box below, and you can just order the beans. And how much would a bag like this be?
For Thai beans,
yeah,
250 gram, 140 baht.
250 gram a bag, 140 baht. You can't get coffee. You can't get coffee in Max Value for that, or any of the other. There are other supermarkets that are equally expensive. Yeah, DM. Right, very, very happy with that, guys. So as we learned upstairs, what did Arthur tell me? The longer you roast the beans for, the less sort of complex, fruity flavour you get. Dark roast is more smoky and bitter, calm. We like light or medium. We found that out today. Anyway, why don't you get yourselves down here yourselves, get your own bag of specialty roasted coffee from Suntime Coffee. Come down, see Arthur, Na and PT. Get some amazing coffee and some unbelievable stewed and roast duck. If you want to see some more videos about Sri Racha and the surrounding areas, you can check out this video up there, down there, I'll leave it somewhere, of our little day trip out to Koh Si Chang, which is the closest island to Bangkok. All right, I'm going to leave it there because I've rambled on enough again for today. Don't forget to share, like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next one.